you doing? Great. So the registered name that was given to me at birth is Vicoria Wanihadie. I am a Kichin-Izide. I'm just a tribal conduit for my tribal relations. My relations are known as a sharing peoples. I am honored to share this moment with my cousin, Dunvegan, cousin Daniza Tsattine Daniza, Bruce McAlister. We'll be using these names up here that were assigned to us, that were assigned to our tribal relations. Up until last year, I thought that I knew who I was. I grew up off reserve and in a local community, small local community. I graduated from high school. I joined the Canadian military, then later on the United States Marine Corps. I raised my family in Grande Prairie. We participated in local cultural activities. We skied, we played ice hockey. I volunteered in our community. I learned to speak in the languages that are offered in our local institutions: English, French, Spanish, and math. I graduated with my degree in education. I assimilated. Then in March 2012, I was hired by the Horse Lake First Nation, number 152, the Indian band that I am registered to. It was here that I witnessed corruption, nepotism, and the cultural genocide of the Beaver Peoples. Then in September 2012, I was released from my position. I wondered why. I exposed the corruption. I thought that I was helping our band members by exposing the truth. In September 2013, I was rehired for the same position. And when I started asking too many questions, I was released from my position. I was hurt. Then I was approached by an elder, and he asked me, "Why did you come back the second time? You didn't need this job. You had a job off reserve." I cried for about an hour before I let him know that I came back to help the Beaver Peoples, my relations. He said, "Good. Now you have to help them. Get to know your roots. You won't find anyone here in Horse Lake who can help you. Go to Clear Hills." Clear Hills is another reserve, number 152C, which appears to have been illegally sold to Horse Lake First Nation. The elder, who is also my uncle, said to me, "Thank those ones who fired you." My first reaction was, why would I thank someone for firing me? I get it. The day that I was fired, the moment that I was fired, I found my real path started, my real journey began. So Masi Cho, thank you. As a teacher and truth seeker, I struggled with my uncle's words. I wondered, who am I? I started my quest by finding my roots in Clear Hills. It was there that I met my Tsattine tribal relations, also referred to as the Beaver Indians of Dunvegan, reserve number 152. Since then, it appears that the reserve has been dissolved and is no longer recognized by the federal government. This left my Tsattine tribal relations displaced, and many were disenfranchised. In 2010, a genealogist gathered the Beaver People's genealogy, and with the information that he found, he stated, "You guys are no longer extinct." Do we look extinct? I wondered, how is it that our tribal peoples are not recognized on this land, the land that my ancestors have lived on for thousands of years? It probably doesn't help when others publicly state that this territory belongs to other nations. When that happens, they are publicly admitting that, well, they're not public admitting, but they're committing cultural genocide to our tribal peoples. So what happened to our ancestors? What happened to our Tsattine tribal peoples? Why are they not recognized? In search of this answer, I traveled throughout the Western provinces. I listened to the elders and our knowledge holders. I spent hours in the archives looking through the documents and all the information. It was only recently when a knowledge holder gave me a copy of the Doctrine of Discovery that my search had ended. The Doctrine of Discovery was issued by the Catholic Church.
After reading the Doctrine of Discovery, we realized that there had been a plan made by foreigners to just simply move in and take over. In our history, we align with the one recognized in the Bible, our Bible, as Jesus, and did recognize that Spirit. And naturally practiced the way of coexisting peacefully with love towards others. And naturally, upon further investigation of our alleged extinction of our Beaver tribe, the genealogy survey was done in recent years. It was found that there are 3,000 of us. What is the importance of our non-recognition? All of this information found in recent years has caused a very large question as to why. Why is it so important to get rid of our culture and tribe? However, today there are many who have joined the path in restoration of our spoken mantra and culture, to revive our cultural ceremonies that have been all but erased by the implications of the Indian Act, residential school systems, and an illegal custom code. It was not long ago that our tribal people were required to have a path to travel upon the lands that we have inhabited for thousands upon tens of thousands of years. In recent years, the discovery of human remains were found that dated back 28,000 years within the Peace River Valley. However, a recent report states that we've only been there for 2,000 years. While our Dunne cousins to the north, 500 miles to the north, state that they've been there for more than 30,000 years within their oral history. The Tsattine covered very vast amounts of territory. However, our ancestors centered our culture within the Dunvegan and Peace Valley areas. The name Beaver was given to our ancestors by the surveyors and aliens who came to the lands described by our people. I wonder and see that what they may have recognized within our culture was that of the spirit of the beaver. The beaver is the only animal in nature that can change an environment drastically. The implication of the spirit energy of the beaver was alive and appeared to be a very great threat to the religion and the aliens that sought to remove our culture and prevent a peaceful way of life, coexisting with others.
After this awakening, my path led me back to my uncle. He said that the residential school system broke the tribal peoples of our land. I wondered, how can I help my Tsattine tribal relations who are still suffering from the hell that they were subjected to? Well, through my stubbornness, commitment, and love for my tribal relations, I chose to help bring back our tribal mantra, also referred to as a language, our culture, and ceremonies to our tribal land. I have faith that this will help my tribal relations to reconnect to their spirit and to the Creator. After making the decision, my next step was to find out what mantra our people spoke. Bruce McAlister explained to me that our beaver mantra is Dunne, and he suggested that I contact someone in the Tsattine Reserve, number 145. My spirit and path guided me to Bruce Starlight, the Tsatina Language Commissioner. I chose to work with Bruce Starlight after he explained that the Tsatina peoples came from the Dunvegan area over 300 years ago. He called it home, home of the Beaver Peoples. He said to me that the Dunne people have 3 dialects, high, medium, and low tone, and he asked me which dialect our people spoke. I had no idea. I know of only two elders who still speak our tribal mantra, but they choose not to speak it. Why? My uncle, said that the reason that they don't speak it is that they were beaten and shamed in the residential schools when they spoke their ancestors' mantra. To this day, many of them still carry that shame. Not long ago, Bruce Starlight spoke to a few of us at Cluskin Hills, a sacred place to the Tsattine tribal peoples. He let us know that it took 100 years to lose our language, and that will take 100 years to get it back. He also let us know that we are not alone, and that we are part of a larger family of Dene-speaking people stretching from Siberia to the Navajo Nation, and that even some Aztecs are claiming to speak Dene. Very recently, one of the students asked me, how do you bring back a language? Like this, by bringing awareness to the people living on the Tsattine tribal lands and working co-creatively with others in partnership to revitalize our spoken mantra and culture. Today, we are in negotiations with the Tsatina First Nation and their language commissioner, and they're also including their linguists who can speak over 20 languages. A travesty has taken place on our ancestral lands. I have hope that municipal, provincial, and federal schemes will help us to restore our culture and language. We are also working with other facilities to bring back our language and our culture. Our people are still broken. And in order to bring back their spirit and to help them, we need to recognize who they are and show respect to who they are. See, Trudeau, your father once said, "Come and see me when you know who you are." Will you honor your father's request? I know who we are. And for the Tsattine tribal peoples knows that you are our Algonquin tribal brother and our Dene cousin. So come, brother, we invite you to make things right from your position of choice. Masicho.